Oh, hi there. Welcome to Shogi in the West, an English language podcast for active Shogi players and Shogi learners around the world. In this podcast, we focus on the topics and the people that matter to those of us outside Japan trying to find our way in the game. This week's special guest is Wojciech. In the past, Wojciech was a dedicated Shogi player and promoter in Poland, visiting many cities around the country to spread Dobutsu Shogi and train school teachers how to teach the game to kids, while also training his own students to become strong players. As a player himself, he accomplished a major goal and surprised everyone by winning the 2016 Polish Championship as a 1Q FESA rated player. By 2018, he was rated at 2 Dan together with his students who steadily climbed up the Dan levels themselves. Since 2019, Wojciech has been living in Japan, and though Shogi never really left his daily life, his playing mostly stalled. That is all set to change this Christmas as he's expected to travel back home to Poland and play in his first Shogi tournament in a long time. Fans of Shogi Harbor's Road to Shodan video series might be thinking, have I seen this guy before? And the answer is yes. Wojciech starred in the series with Ladies Pro Carolina, where he also made an appearance as the voice of Emo Bear. Wojciech, welcome to the podcast, and have you played any Shogi today?
I haven't played today because it's 9 a.m. in the morning, and my first priority was to make breakfast for my daughter.
Nice.
I did have like 10 minutes before the podcast, so I did a little bit of tsume on the Shogi Quest app.
Excellent.
So yeah, but as you mentioned, I recently my life finally became kind of stable. I have now a stable job after some episodes where I switched jobs and it was not a good fit. So I was struggling for a bit, but now I'm in the right place. My daughter is now 2 years old.
Wow.
So and she's going to the nursery school, so I can have a little bit, of me time. So I thought that now is the time to go back to Shogi. So I've been practicing actively, but maybe we can talk about that later.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, first let me just say, I said this to Carolina Sensei the other day. I say this to every parent. So apologies to people who are listening who aren't. Just enjoy these times. These times, I have older kids. They're all grown up, but I really miss these times, like the 2-year-old, the young ages. So congratulations. Enjoy these times, because they truly don't come again. So that said, what is, I know that you haven't been playing as much, but you've said that Shogi has stayed a part of your life, like a daily life. Are you generally doing tsume, or are you reading? I don't know what's available in Japan. Like, are there Shogi articles that are able to be consumed? How are you keeping in touch, basically?
Right. So in Japan, they have this funny term called mirusho, which means is a short form of miru shogi fan. So someone who watches shogi like a fan, like a football fan, someone who doesn't play himself, I guess barely knows the rules, but for some reason, for example, he finds the players charming in some way. One of the ways people enjoy professional shogi players is that there is the Shogi Live application where every day you can watch at least one game in real time, and each game it's not only kind of a transmission of the moves. There is actually a kind of reporter commenting on almost each move, so it's very well prepared. And one common part is that they will always report what the players had for lunch.
Yeah.
So one way such watching shogi fans enjoy the game is they might have the same lunch as the
Nice.
player, or
Do you
they,
do,
they
do you do that? I'm curious.
I,
That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
I don't, but it's kind of interesting to see, like, if your favorite player, some will order the same thing every day, some will vary it a little. So for me, because I'm a player myself, I rather watch the games of my favorite players. I don't watch all of them, but if there is a game like by Habusan or ladies Hakurei Nishiyama-san or Tobe Sensei, I will always check the game. So this is I check the application like on a almost daily basis.
Fascinating.
So I can follow like the trends in the openings and so on this way. And also every Saturday we have like educational TV. So at 10 a.m. there is like a shogi program,
Ah.
and they have is very well produced.
Is it NHK Focus or is it?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So I've been regardless whether I'm playing or not. I'm watching. I'm recording the program every week. So I think I've been watching it like every time. I don't. I might have missed a few episodes, going back home or something. But it's so I'm always like in touch this way.
That's amazing. So Shogi Live, just for everyone, I'll leave links in the notes to I believe it's only available on mobile. So I know there's an iPhone version. I believe there's an Android version. I'll leave links there. But you're not the first person who I've talked to who gets a lot of use out of it. But as I'm saying that, I'm thinking everyone though can read Japanese. The people who seem to like it a lot, they can read Japanese, and I can't. But I've been tempted to subscribe to it because Nishiyama is definitely someone whose games I follow. Fukuma is someone whose games especially when I used to play Nakabisha, I would follow a
Right.
lot. But I haven't quite gotten so much into the men's game yet. How did you said Tobe-san or Tobe Sensei and Habu Sensei, like? Do you just resonate with their play styles, or how did you become a fan of the pro game?
Um, I guess it's like it's probably it's not very original because I was introduced to the professional scene by watching Hidechi's videos.
Okay.
So that's how I learned about the players, and um, I'm not sure if there is. Habusan is just awesome, like like winning so many titles,
Sure.
holding so many records. So and what's also interesting is like he wrote so many great books. So he's just generally an amazing person, I think.
I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that he had a large number of books. I know of in English language. I know of Habu's
Right,
words,
right.
and then I have a Tsume book that had his face. Has it's like a 135 Tsume
Exactly.
book.
I have it as myself.
But he has a lot more than that.
Yeah. Give me a second. So there's one I briefly. So I have a shogi book collection back in Poland.
Mm,
I've been buying the same books to have them here in Japan. So
nice.
I have like multiple copies. So this is a famous book, often recommended on YouTube.
Okay.
It's Habu's ending technique.
Ah.
Um, it's there are three volumes, and I recently learned that the first that they are decreasing in difficulty. So you should start with the third one.
Okay.
So this was kind of reassuring because I tried to read the first one and it was very challenging. So it's basically about games by Habu Sensei, and it's like
Ah.
each page is a different problem.
Yeah.
You are given a hint. You're supposed to think about the solution yourself. Then you turn the page, and you can see Habu's commentary.
Is it?
So
Have you read the Kaneko book, the Ending Attack Technique 200?
yes, of
Is
course.
it similar in style, or like just briefly? I saw the position in there, and it looked maybe even a little bit earlier
Yeah,
than that.
exactly.
Okay.
So it's about how to get to the brinkmate, to the mate.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So uh, once you get to the kind of later part of the problems pertaining to the same game, it might end with a move that you will find in the end game to 200.
Uh huh.
But it's not enough.
Sure.
Uh, it's about destroying the castles. It's about approaching the king.
Yeah.
So I bought this book recently again because it was very highly recommended. But to be honest, I'm kind of currently. I decided that I will kind of relearn the game from scratch.
Mm.
So I also have the books you mentioned by Habu Sensei, 1, 3, and 5 Tsume.
Okay.
So I basically I started with one move mates, and I'm measuring my time and going through the same books multiple times, um, because I found some advice by someone who's like 9 dan on Shogi Wars,
Oh.
and they said that in like Shogi Wars, and when you play with time limits which are very short, there is no time to solve that sume.
Yes.
You need to know that sume. So you basically should, instead of solving them, you should memorize the patterns. So this is kind of what I'm recently trying to achieve.
Okay. And it sounds
So
almost like you, when you say you're timing it and then repeating, you're a chess player as well. Are you familiar with the woodpecker method?
yeah, yes.
Okay. Is that what you're
Uh,
sort of trying to achieve with this?
I guess like I do have the woodpecker method book. I didn't
Oh,
really solve it, but
okay.
it's easier to buy books than to go through
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost never play chess, and I have a ton of chess books.
So
Yeah, I love to collect them and look at them as if it's going to be knowledge that I am going to have, but
I
sometimes
see.
it doesn't quite work out.
Yeah, myself, I don't play chess anymore, but at least recently. But I'm listening to a chess podcast, the Chess Angle.
Oh, yeah,
Really,
interesting.
yeah, it's for kind of people like us who are adult
Yeah.
improvers, and
I've never spoken to anyone who knows of this podcast. I listen to it as well. You
oh,
know, the
nice.
new episode I think comes out Saturday-ish, and so
Yeah.
often on my walk on Sunday, I'll
Mm,
listen to it.
nice. So I've been going through the backlog recently.
Yeah.
It's kind of starting to get repetitive, you know.
It is. Yeah, I think a lot of podcasts are like that's something that I worry about. Like at some point, maybe I'm going to run out of topics, and without people to interview, it'll just be repetitive. But yeah,
So, I guess like what I understood from the woodpecker method is that at first the book might take you like a week, and you will repeat it until you are able to finish the whole book in one day. And
yeah,
I believe that the grandmaster said that it kind of messes with your brain, like solving so many puzzles in a single day.
mm,
The Sume that I solve, it's less radical. I would say like the first time it takes me 40 minutes to solve a whole book. Next time it was maybe 25 minutes. So
okay,
um, I have to keep it realistic.
yeah. Yeah, you're the within the past couple of weeks, been talking to Vince. The first person I interviewed on this podcast is Vince, and he has been doing something it sounds like similar to that with the playshogi.com puzzle sets, where he does it and he has just been repeating them over and over. Speed running, I think it's called on
Mhm.
that site. And he's so he's a believer in that, and it's exactly as you say, trying trying to get it so that it's instantaneous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have been starting to see results. Um, Basically, like um, you see a position, and kind of your subconscious
Yeah.
tells you the moves.
Mm-hmm.
I have had this experience recently when like mate in 7 just popped in my head without me actively thinking about it. Just like the pattern that I saw in the free move sequence, I just immediately saw that it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's amazing how that happens. And so what and I think lately I've sometimes questioned like so, sometimes like you say you just see it. You just see it. So I could be going through a mate in 5 set of problems and I'll see it immediately. But then the next one I'm in brute force calculation mode and it's just I
yeah,
don't know if I just didn't see it, if I haven't seen that pattern before and if it's just a matter of entrenching or building in more patterns. It's fascinating to me how the brain works and handles that. But I have to believe that just blasting through all these patterns, it's going to become second nature. And
yeah, I think so.
yeah,
So to kind of summarize, my goal is before I go into this book, I want to kind of build my muscles in a
yeah,
way
yeah.
by going through at least I'd like to memorize like the 5 Sumen 5.
Mm,
I believe I have the 5 often recommended books, the handbook and the books by Takahashi Sensei.
okay,
So it's 5 volumes, 200 problems each, so 1,000
it's a
problems.
lot.
Yeah, it's going to take me a few months.
Yeah.
But I have heard that it's a very effective method.
That sounds like just hearing you speak about it is making me think maybe I really should do that and maybe make it a little more rigorous, maybe timing it and going through that way. Because I do a lot on PO Shogi, I do a lot
Mhm.
on Shogi Quest. You would mention Shogi Quest, but nothing and different books. But I don't time them, and I'm not trying to track my time. I think I would benefit from that.
Yeah. One problem I realized with Shogi Quest, because I subscribed to the paid version so that I have unlimited puzzles,
Yes.
and I noticed one day I just went through like 100 problems or more, and I really got into it. But I realized that while it's useful, it might be teaching you bad habits because you only have 30 seconds.
Yes.
And the move is sometimes even for like second queue problems, it's made in 11. Um, so it's difficult to visualize the whole sequence up to the mate.
Yeah.
So what you end up doing is just kind of guessing. This is probably the right check.
Yeah.
It's probably the right check, and then you say, "Oh, now I see it."
Yeah. It totally encourages the guess and check kind of behavior.
And for a while, I tried to change my solving style so I got to second dan in the checkmate
Oh,
problems,
nice. Nice.
and then I kind of changed my style to try to read the moves until the mate,
Yeah.
and my rating dropped like 100
I
points
believe
immediately.
it. I believe it.
So
Yeah.
yesterday, after that, I kind of got discouraged.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I went back to the kind of guessing style, and I got my rating back.
Mm,
So it's kind of nice to practice the patterns.
yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's a waste of time,
Well,
but yeah.
yeah, I definitely think it's not. There are. I'm trying to think as I'm speaking. I'll just say there are at least 2 players I know of
Mhm,
who are incredibly strong players now, and
mhm,
they have. When I last talked to them about this, which was over a year ago, they had like
uh-huh.
17,000 of these problems done, 18,000. So they're blasting through mate
Mm,
challenges, and their results their results have been fantastic, of actual games, and they're very strong calculators. So So I believe, I think I believe with anything, as long as you sort of do it with your whole self, and you put
Mm,
yourself into it, and you're doing your best, and you're focused, it's going to help. Whether it's the most efficient way, I don't know, but I do
mm.
believe that it can be helpful, for some people. But it's definitely tough for me not to get caught in the ratings and the gamified side of that.
Yeah.
um yeah, yeah. Very
So
interesting.
yeah, I can totally believe that someone blasting through these problems can improve their end game skills a lot,
Mhm.
because I'm not sure, but it seems to me that probably the problems are probably generated from actual games.
I imagine, like, same thing with their mate run, like those
Right.
that fast. I imagine they're coming from their games because they have so many, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
So compared to like what you have in many problem books, is you have patterns that are kind of maybe even beautiful, but will never happen in a
Yes,
real game.
yes.
So compared, so Shogi Quest problems in that regard, they are like completely only real life situations. So maybe it could be argued that is a very effective way to actually improve your level.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of the things that makes me love those problems is that I really like what are they? They're called. It always eludes me. Is it Jisen Shogi, like the real board?
Ah, just saying, yeah.
Yeah. So I love those, and to the point where I've searched for books with those. I have a book. I can't remember what it's called right now. I think it's actually called like Shogi Quest Dojo, but it's a book, a printed book of
Okay.
those types of problems from Shogi Quest's game database. So, maybe those are the same problems they put in their mate challenge and just put them into a book. I'm not sure. But I love those style because, like you said, some of those patterns, they're beautiful. And I believe that, anytime you think about it, you're going to improve your calculation. But they're not patterns that I'm going to see in a game. Especially a lot of the ones where the king is way at the bottom and
Mhm.
there's all these bishops. But yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
fascinating.
exactly. Yeah, what
Yeah,
what I found kind of tricky doing Shogi Quest problems is that like if you look locally very close to the king, it
yeah,
seems like the king can be mated in many multiple ways. But then you kind of change your perspective and you see there's like a rook on the, or like a dragon on the bottom preventing,
yeah.
or most often like a bishop, like, and it's blocking many of the mates. So it's very, if you're too focused,
Yeah.
you just
And
it's
and I
going to
think
be
for that
prevented.
reason, that's, I mean, that's a great point. I think for that reason, I even like those more because I still have this problem, but especially a year or two ago, I had a major problem with hyper focusing on localized areas
Mhm.
and missing long range bishops, missing long range rooks. So now in those mate challenge, like if I air quotes see the mate instantly at I think I'm like Shodan level of those mate challenges. So I'm not that high yet. Um, but like at my level, if I see the problem almost immediately, it's like, okay, no, there's a trick here, or there's going to be a bishop, and a lot of times there will be. So
Yeah, but one point I'm kind of surprised. I'm not sure why that happens. Is that like the problems are rated, right?
mm,
Um, so there are, the range of problems that are rated second queue is so wide.
yes,
Sometimes it's like a move mate in free, very easy, like very typical position, and sometimes like I said, a mate in 11, and also non-trivial. Like I cannot see it instantly. Only after I start actually checking, I see okay, that's the goal. So I'm not sure if it's like a small issue with the site itself, that the rating system is maybe not perfect. but it's certainly a little bit strange.
I would love to know. Yeah, I like those behind the scenes details. I would love to know how they do rate those puzzles, and like are they actively taking into account people getting them wrong or right every day, whether or not that changes the rating. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I imagine that's the way it's done. But sometimes I can kind of imagine that this problem is rated first Q because of what I said, that there are two mating patterns and one will be captured by the bishop. So people are just
Yes,
mindlessly
exactly.
making a mistake. So that's the reason that the rating is so high, because there are many people fail at the problem.
Yeah. So besides Tsume and sort of the book type stuff, and Shogi Live, is there any other sort of Shogi activity in your life these days?
So yeah,
Like you
I'm
mentioned
back.
Shogi Wars. Are you playing a little bit online at all yet, or?
Yeah, so I'm back to actively playing,
Okay.
and like we mentioned the chess angle, and one of the points. So maybe to give a little bit of context, when I was back in Poland, I wanted to, and I had a lot of free time. I wanted to be kind of like Habu Sensei, and essentially be able to play any opening. Steady rook, ranging rook, all the ranging rooks. So I would read Joseki books about every opening. It was very useful when I was teaching, because I could accommodate to my students' needs and propose different strategies.
And sorry to interrupt you. You're reading Japanese language Joseki books?
Yeah.
Okay, because at that point you were able to read them.
Yeah. So basically, in 2010, I was able to pass the most difficult Japanese language proficiency exam, and because I kind of needed a new goal, I started Shogi.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Let's start talking about your origin story in all of this.
So yeah, basically it's so. I have been always fascinated by Japanese culture, mainly manga and anime. And at one point, I started watching so many anime, downloaded illegally from the internet, that I started being able to recognize common sentences. And that was kind of fun. That I'm starting, the bootleg versions I was watching, sometimes the subtitles would not appear at all. And I realized that I can understand the meaning anyway from time to time.
So you were listening to enough of them that you started learning that way. Amazing.
So that kind of motivated me to properly study. So I bought some textbooks from like the States. They were very expensive, but I started learning on my own, trying different textbooks. The beginning were very slow for me. I was a very slow learner. But once I, for example, learned how to learn the Chinese characters, I was able to accelerate a lot.
Okay.
So it took me way longer to get from like complete novice to intermediate than to go from intermediate to advanced. Because when I got to intermediate, it was just a matter of spending time.
Okay.
Because I knew what to do. And so this is my like Japanese learning journey. And at the same time, I watched Hikaru no Go.
Yes.
So that's like everyone else, I started playing Go.
Yep.
But I wasn't so good at it. Like the goal of the game was not so clear to me. And I kind of didn't like calculate territories to know whether you're ahead or not. So I think Shogi is a better fit for me because the goal is very clear to capture.
This sounds so much like me. This sounds so much like me.
And also like to evaluate the position, it's much easier because you don't even have to calculate the relative values of the pieces. It's like more about the attack, about who has an advantage in the end game. Like the material doesn't matter so much, at least in the end game. So and it's much easier to reverse the result of the game. So I basically started playing shogi after I passed my Japanese exams, and I don't really remember why I started the game.
Okay.
It appears in Hikaru no Go, so I probably knew that, and also in Naruto, right?
Yes.
So I probably knew about the game, but never had the opportunity to start it. So when I had some time, free time on my hands, I kind of just started learning it.
Yeah, I think that's how basically I learned of, I think I learned of Go from Hikaru no Go,
Mhm.
Kaga of the Shogi Club.
Right.
And it's possible I also found more information about it through Sensei's. There's that Sensei's library that there's a
Right.
Go sort of educate, like
I
huge
know.
resource. And I think that's how I started getting interested because I also was interested in Japanese culture. And so, yeah, I think that's how I came about it. So interesting.
So yeah, to maybe circle back to what I wanted to say before. So I was kind of an all-rounder, and that had it was nice in some ways because I could play many openings,
Hmm.
but also made me sometimes frustrated because there would be this guy who always plays the same opening, and because he knows all the tricks, it's so difficult to beat them. So the only way I was able to beat them was to kind of find a way to get them to a different track.
Yes.
So, for example, one of the players I have in my mind, they would play central rook in a kind of with the bishop on the edge. It was when you played static rook, the attack on the center would be always very difficult to stop.
Hmm.
So the only way I was able to beat this player was by playing ranging rook myself, because then I would have a nice castle in the middle and so on. Um, so that's something that I was not sure what to do, because it felt to me that playing the same opening might be boring if I never changed it. And I thought that maybe I will hate the game if if I don't have this variety.
Yeah.
But now that I've been listening to the chess angle, I realized that I no longer have the time to learn all the openings to keep up. So maybe it's the
Yeah.
time for me to set up to settle on a opening myself, and keep playing it so that I can stop learning the openings all
Yeah,
the time.
he's big on that. He uses there's an old American infomercial. This guy named Ron Popeil who would sell things on TV, and he'd
Uh-huh.
say, "Set it," and then the crowd would say, "Forget it." So
Ah,
set
that's
it
how
and forget it, and that's
I
that's
see.
why he says he plays. I think he plays. He
The
plays the
long,
London
yeah.
system, and I can't remember what else he plays as black,
He
but
said that the Nimzo.
Nimzo, yes, yes, and yeah. So set it and forget it. I think he, as someone who plays the same opening all the time, it's weird for me to sort of disagree. I don't know. I do feel like he sometimes leans a little bit too heavy into it, but yeah, I think that there is a benefit there. And like today I played someone on 81 Dojo who had is an opposing rook player, and 17,000 games, and just like
Wow.
that's a lot of games to play the same opening. But one thing that's been surprising to me, I had started as Nakabisha, played
Mhm.
whatever, a lot of games as that. In order to try to compete with someone else, I started working in another opening in certain situations.
Mhm.
But after I started getting beaten up by Urashina Ryu so often, I switched
Mhm.
to it just to try to learn it that way,
I see.
just to see why people are beating me. And I've been with it ever since. So I've been
I
with it
see.
ever since. And thousands of games later, I'm still finding new things every
Right.
day, and it's not gotten boring. If anything, I like it more than ever.
Nice.
So yeah, I was worried about the same thing that you had said about it getting boring, but it just hasn't.
I see.
Yeah, there's so much
So
variety in shogi, especially once the middle game hits.
it's super funny because like I'm in the I went the completely opposite direction. So I heard that an opening system called Murata system
Oh yeah, yeah.
is pretty nice. So I bought the book and I tried going through it, but um, I didn't like the games. I tried it on Shogi Quest, and I would either be beaten up very easily,
Mm.
or the times I won was because like a simple climbing silver was not protected. They didn't defend properly, so it felt like it didn't feel like a good fit.
Yeah.
So I basically put the book away. Next, I tried Ureshinoryu because, like you said, one of my students got to second dan, and he actually, I guess, his highest rating is higher than mine.
Mm.
And he managed to get there because I told him like try this opening, and I gave him a book about Ureshinoryu.
Oh wow.
So I gave him the book and I told him to solve Tsume every day. And he was, compared to me, he was very systematic about things. So he actually, I wasn't able to keep my advice,
Mm.
but he managed to do it. And he got to second dan in a very quick time. So, but when I tried Ureshinoryu, I had difficulty against Nakabisha.
Ah.
So I realized that it's also when against Ibisha, it's very nice because you get to attack, and it's kind of easy to get one-sided attack.
Yes.
But it kind of felt like cheating, you know.
It does.
And also, like if you check with the engine, like the evaluation, I think is not so great.
Yeah, I mean it's still better in most cases than Furibisha, I think, at least early on. But there are certain openings that I know the engine really does not like it, and I think it's one of the ones that I actually end up struggling a lot with, which is as Gote against Bogin. Like
Mm,
it's very difficult. It's to
I
the
see.
point where I almost don't play Urshinori. I get my silver up and then pull it back in
I
on
see.
the on 3-3, and yeah,
Mm,
it's tough, but
I see.
but yeah.
I see. That makes sense. So I know that there are people who are like 5 down Shogi Wars just playing Ureshinoryu.
Mm,
So it's probably not fair to say that it's a strategy that you cannot grow with. But I wanted to try something else. So
yeah.
one day I was playing 10-second Shogi, and I came up with my own system. So
Oh
basically, I thought I'm gonna start with Ureshinoryu. So move the silver to 5-7, and then I'm going to switch to Nakabisha to kind of, trick my opponent.
yeah,
And
I've
to
seen
my
people. I've
surprise,
definitely seen people do that, and it seems. I mean, against me, it's sometimes effective because it forces me into a castle, or it lures me into making a castle that isn't good against Nakabisha.
mm,
So yeah.
so to my surprise, that day I won 10 games in a row.
And this
Uh,
is Shogi Quest still,
Shogi
or
Wars,
Shogi
10,
Wars? Okay.
10 seconds. And so I was so surprised. I went to my profile and said my performance 3.5 done, which is like for at my like I'm the eternal shodan on Shogi Wars. So for me
Yeah.
it was like whoa.
Yeah, 3.5 Dan is no joke. That is serious on Shogi Wars.
So at this point I decided, okay, I'm learning Nakabisha.
Mm,
So now I don't play this, fake Nakabisha
yeah.
anymore. I play like the Joseki shape.
Yes.
But my results have been amazing. So and I'm kind of beating myself that I haven't done it earlier.
Hmm.
I had some bad results as Nakabisha or in generally as Furibisha against Ureshinoryu. So But now I checked on YouTube. There are so many YouTubers right now,
Yes,
so it's easy to find like what are good formations against Ureshi no Ryu, that at least give you an even game.
sure.
So I've been trying it, and it's now much better.
Yeah,
I'm
I
no
try to
longer.
get those taken off of YouTube. I try report them. uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that's amazing. But the thing is, it's so difficult to say because you're having this success as Nakabisha, but is it also because of all this experience you have with the other things? I wonder about that myself because I started with Nakabisha and then moved to Urishino Ryu. I am seeing attacks like I feel like I understand attacks now so much better than I did then. So I
Mm.
wonder if now the things that used to give me trouble in Nakabisha, I wonder if now I'd be able to use these new techniques and improve my Nakabisha game. So it's yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. It just seems like when you switch openings, sometimes you take what you have in the other openings and you make it part of your own, and you just kind of just snowball, like you just keep getting better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's um
And if you
like
like the middle game positions that you get, like all the much better. I think that was one of the things that I was struggling with again with Nakabisha, is that um, I was getting Chosokogin a lot from
mm,
the opponent, and I felt like I was banging my head against the wall just trying to make things happen. I see YouTubers that have no trouble coming up with plans, but I struggled. It was tough.
yeah. So luckily for me, I don't get this opening thrown at me so much yet,
Hmm.
but I'm definitely learning it. So what I think fits my style is that I love attacking.
Yeah.
So with Nakabisha, it's one of the among the ranging rook strategies is the one where it's easiest to attack. And what's also I think that I feel that I'm winning despite the opening at this point
Hmm.
because I still don't have enough experience and knowledge. But the nice point of Nakabisha is that it attacks in the middle, which compared to other ranging rook is the closest to the king.
Yes.
So even if you are in a worse position, if you somehow manage to survive and get a counter, your attack is very deadly. So at this point, it's no longer kind of Nakabisha knowledge, it's your endgame skills, which I think are very transferable. And
Yeah.
also, like when I was a Sadigroup player, uh, I had to break the Mino Castle a lot. So I know the weaknesses.
Yeah.
So now, when I'm in the opposite situation, I know what the opponent will try to do. So it's very easy to see. Okay, he will try this pattern, so I have to either ignore it or to prevent it. So,
Those are
uh,
great points. Yeah, like I guess I can agree with that from both sides. Is that like right now, I feel like a lot of times against Nakabisha, even when I get some, even when I get some big advantage, I feel that my end game is probably one of my weakest
mhm.
aspects. I could get a huge advantage out of the opening, but the Nakabisha player will continue to attack up the middle, and it really only takes one bad or slow move, and all of a sudden they're in, and like you said, right close to the king, and it's disaster for me. And then the Mino Castle thing, I think, is also there was a point in my life as a Nakabisha player um, where I said, "All right, I'm not making Mino anymore." I was getting beaten by my everyone knows how to break the Mino Castle, so I
Right.
started doing. I started Anaguma, quite a bit,
Mhm,
Central Rook Anaguma, and
mhm.
uh, sort of basically getting into Kimura Mino by not
Mhm.
making a Mino castle, if
I
that makes sort of sense, or
Yeah,
King Muso in a lot of ways, or in a lot of I'd pull that gold over. But yeah, it's interesting, boy.
yeah. So Anyway,
Do you have books now on like do you have a book or books that you're actively learning from, or are you learning from pro games? I tried to learn a lot from Satomi games.
Satomi. Yeah, so um, I used to check pro games a lot, but what I discovered is that I might learn the latest Josekis, and then the guy on Shogi Quest will go at me without castling the king at all.
1000% agree. Yes.
And because I don't know how to play against him, he will just go with all the generals at me. I might get crushed.
Yes.
So
yeah.
one advice from a strong YouTuber I found in Japanese is that you should go the opposite direction. He recommends playing on Shogi Quest. You can play 2-minute games. So he recommended playing, maybe having a separate account for kind of learning, a separate account for actually trying to improve your rating. And in the learning account, your goal is just to play a lot and get a lot of exposure. Oh. Like, what are the guys going to throw at you?
Even in 2-minute games?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
The idea was that in 2-minute games, you can, in 1 hour, you can have more 2-minute games than 10-minute games. That was his reasoning, I believe. So, but I don't believe you have to follow his advice to this point. So basically, he said that you have to have a lot of experience. So instead of learning the openings played by the pros, you have to know what the guys at your level are playing. And if you see some opening appearing a lot, this is what you should study. Maybe using the engine, maybe asking someone, I don't know. And this has been working quite well so far for me. And
I love that advice. I mean, that's a lot of how I approach it.
Yeah, there's a new book series in Japan called Ittezutsu Kaisetsu. Ittezutsu Kaisetsu Suru. It means they explain every move, because often what happens in books, you have like a long sequence and you don't know the meaning of the moves. So and one page is only up to 4 moves.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Like those, the chess has those, logical move by move, logical chess move by move, the simple chess. Yeah, the only thing we have in English is Habu's words, and it's 12 games.
Right.
And I would love to be able to read those. It's definitely one of the motivations for me wanting to learn to read enough Japanese to be able to do those, because of this kind of book, and because of that Habu that Habu Endgame book that you were talking about. By the way, please remember, if I don't remember to ask you, I'll ask you later for the titles of these books, because I would like to include them in the show notes. I'd like to get them myself.
Yeah, so I recently got 3 books by Tobe Sensei.
Okay.
I had the privilege. Give me a second. I had the privilege of learning from him at a classroom. Like, it was a simul game a few years ago. Even though I was still a study group player, I respected him a lot.
Yeah.
So he recently published a series of books about Nakabisha. So the first one is Sente Nakabisha. The second one is Gokigen Nakabisha, so the same as Gote.
Yeah.
And finally, there is Double Ranging Rook Nakabisha. So if you have those books, you can play Nakabisha against anything.
Wow.
It even includes Double Nakabisha. So this is currently like my Bible, my Bible series.
Amazing.
So I don't really read any other books regarding Joseki at this point. I decided that I will basically memorize this and then maybe go to something else. And they are kind of for beginners in a way that they are kind of biased. They don't show you equal positions.
Okay.
They show you like big successes, great attacks by the Nakabisha.
Yeah.
So if you try to do it online, maybe the opponent will defend in a better way than in the book, and it will not succeed. But it gives you something to aim for.
Exactly. Yeah, I like no matter how good your opening is, the opponent is going to be able to equalize and you get to that middle game position. So you're going to have to play those anyway, but knowing how to take advantage and profit from mistakes or slight inaccuracies, like that's I think that's huge. And I think it makes it fun. Like personally, I think that makes it fun. It's like, what am I going for? What are my big ideas here? I
Yeah.
love that idea.
So I also have lots of game collection books, but I found that um, I'm not sure if they are really worth doing at my level, because the shapes are different, um, and maybe at my level it's more effective just to play and analyze.
Yeah.
Because what I realized, like you said, you mentioned that you've been playing Ryu for a while, and you still discover new things.
Yeah.
And
I
I
made a
had the same.
major with the help of Koshiro, if you know who the legendary
Yeah,
Brazilian player. I think I made a huge level up just yesterday in my approach versus opposing rook. And it's
I
just like, these are ideas, they're out there, they're out there. And I almost feel like reborn just from this little session, this little effort that he took
mm,
to just to help out. It's so meaningful. It may be nothing to him, but it's so meaningful to me. And yeah, it gets me excited. Like every little thing that I learn gets me excited to just enough excitement for the next 200 games, and then I'll learn something else, and then yeah.
so did you have like a private lesson
I have
or?
I have had private lessons with him, but in this case he was watching my stream. So I was playing and I was mentioning how I struggle. I think I was mentioning how I struggle against opposing rook, and then he showed me this position that this move that I hadn't considered. I hadn't considered because I didn't understand it. So I've analyzed this question or these positions with the engine a lot, because the most important games to me are the games I play Sunday morning at like over the board at the club, and my opponent we end up in these opposing rook versus Urshin or Ryu type
Okay.
scenarios, and so I study a lot. I know what the engine wants, but this one move I never brought it into my I never brought it into my repertoire because I didn't understand it. So all it took was Koshiro explaining it, and now I get it. Now I
Right.
see why. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's why the engine wanted this. That's why this is good. And it just makes me so excited.
Yeah, that's another great point. So um, there's this was also mentioned on the chess angle, but um, um, the engines can be tricky. So the engine can say that you have a winning position, but it could mean two completely different things. So the winning position, it could be totally winning, meaning that whatever you do, as long as you keep getting at the king, you will win.
Yeah.
And there could be another way, which means that you have to play the correct move 10 times in a row, and then your opponent will try to mate you in like 15 moves. So you have to, escape with the king, and there is only one correct way to do it. So what will actually happen? You will lose because you'll probably not be able to read all the correct responses. So
Yes.
um, what I found, like when I go through the books I mentioned by Tobe Sensei, I check them with the engine, because sometimes the book tell you that Nakabisha is winning and the engine says zero point 0.
Uh,
So I've been checking them, but sometimes what I find is that the engine says Nakabisha is better, but when I check why, it showed me like this crazy attack that I would never be able to find myself.
yeah.
And
That's
I'm not really able to memorize it either.
That's a huge part in how I build my repertoires, is that, and that's like a consideration as I build my repertoires, because I run the engine, I get, at a high depth, and I see the candidate moves, and like, if one of the moves is slightly better, but down the line I see, oh, well, I have to make this only move next, and then I have to make this only move next, and then I have to make this, otherwise I'm losing. It's like, I'm not going to play, like, if I have to play perfect after, I'm not going to play this move, so I'll look at another one. And then on the flip side of that, it's like, oh, this move might be a little worse, but the opponent has to do this, and then they have to do this, and so it's like, it's a little trickier. So it's like not much worse. It's worse according to the engine, but it's very tricky for the opponent. At least I think so. So I'll pick those, and I think that's one of the fun things about. I know people say you shouldn't spend much time on openings, but it's one of the things I enjoy, and I like doing that kind of work. It's just kind of interesting to me. But yeah.
I see. Yeah, that's a very nice, interesting point about kind of building your repertoire so that it's kind of tricky for your opponent.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And yeah, another point, like coming back a little bit, circling back, what I noticed, I always had time trouble on Shogi Wars, because when I was
in
playing
10-minute games.
Yeah, in 10-minute games even.
Yeah.
Because when I was playing Static Rook, you kind of, depending of what your opponent will play, you have to completely change your game. It's difficult to play system opening as an Ibisha player. Maybe Ureshinoru is one of the exceptions. So what ends up happening is that you have to think of a good formation, and that ends up taking your time. And now that I know that I switched to Nakabisha, it's very easy for me. I know I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna put my silver here. I'm gonna make Mino Castle or Anaguma as an exception. So I can blitz the opening in like 30 seconds, and have plenty of time to think when I'm in trouble or whatever.
Did you consider fourth file Rook or just Nakabisha because it's more attacking?
Yeah, I just, like I told you, I had a great day when I had this amazing results.
Yeah.
And also, I thought that Nakabisha is easy because I can play it against anything. I guess that's also true for fourth file Rook. I'm not sure about double ranging Rook because, anyway, I guess even with central Rook, like in double ranging Rook, in many cases, I still have to go for Mukai Bisha.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
Because there's no attack in the middle. But I guess fourth file Rook would be also an option. But I tried it a couple of years ago, and I found it difficult that you have to memorize all the defenses against each attack. I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the one thing you said is so fascinating to me, that you had that early success with Nakabisha. It's funny how early success in something kind of catapults you. Like the same thing with Urashinoru. When I first did it, when I first decided to do it, I went and I looked at the English Wikipedia article, which is very it's very light, compared to the Japanese article. Right. And I watched a couple of Carolina Sensei's Urashinoru book videos. Okay. They were about old Urashinoru. They weren't even about the thing that I was doing. Right. And and then I just went into Shogi Wars, and I had immediate success. It was like a great day, a great couple days.
I see.
And if I wouldn't have just had a few lucky wins, maybe I would have just been turned off of it. I don't know. Who knows? But like that early success made me so excited about the opening, and it got me through to the point where I had real struggles, but still, it's funny. It's just funny how it's like fate almost.
Yeah. So I had another episode recently. So when I had this 10 winning streak, it was against first and second dan players, I believe. But the next day, when I was close to getting promoted, I got matched with a 4 dan player.
Oh.
Out of the blue, and I still went with Nakabisha, and I was worse, but it was a double range rook game, so I went from Nakabisha and then to switched to Mukai Bisha, and for some reason he was like much better, but he was playing very passively, and I ended up finding like this amazing attacking idea, and getting much better, and it was a 10-second game, so unfortunately, like, I almost got him.
Yeah.
So if I had, like, he started attacking my castle, and I realized that if I take the pawn with the king, there will be a fork, rook, dragon, king fork. So I went in the other direction, and I got mated. So if I went in a different direction, I would be still winning. But also when I analyzed myself, I realized I had a mate in 7, but I had to sacrifice 2 dragons.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of...
That's difficult for 10-second.
Yeah, but I thought, it was not very difficult. Because after you sacrifice the 2 dragons, you get 2 golds, and now it's a simple mate.
You just have to see that idea. Yeah.
So I was able to see the mate after the game by myself without the engine.
Okay.
So I thought, if I practice mates in 7, maybe I can beat a 4 dan again. So now this is what keeps me going.
Awesome. I love the 10-second games. They're fast, but there's no, you're not going to win or lose on time. Well, I mean, unless you take 10 seconds, but you could keep playing, and it seems like the quality of play can be very high.
Yes.
And the plus and minus of that. The strong players will still be able to outlast you. But oh man, that's amazing. Is that, out of curiosity, on Shogi Wars, is that what time controls do you generally play? Like, do you prefer one over the other, or do you play them all?
So I don't really like. I play everything but the 3-minute games.
Okay.
I think I don't. I would probably need more experience to get through the opening, and it's a little bit too short for me.
Yeah.
Maybe once, like we discussed in the beginning, once I get all the mating patterns memorized, and also I want to memorize the Kaneko book you mentioned, 200 mating things, 200 brink mates. Once I have that in kind of working memory, it might be easier, but for now I still need to think a lot. So either 10-minute or 10-second. For now, I'm playing 10-minute games, and I'm on a very good winning streak, very good winning percentage currently with Nakabisha as a first dan.
Nice.
So if I can, I never went to second dan in Shogi Wars, mainly because of time travel. So I feel like this time it's within reach, because
it's tough. There are so many strong players on Shogi Wars between 1Q and 2 dan. It makes it so hard to rank up. My goal was always to hit Shodan, and I did in 10-minute. But I'm dropping back. I'm at I'm back in the 11% or whatever it is. It's just it feels like it's very tough for me to make progress. Everyone's so good. Like there's so many good players, and with the 3 game per day limit, some of these players who are 2 or 3 dan, they might not rank out. They may not rank out for a while because they've got to play so many games. But yeah, it's tough. I still love it. I love Shogi Wars, but it's tough. Yeah. One thing we did so I apologize for switching gears here, but we really didn't go. We haven't gone very far from your origin story.
Mm.
So you learned you picked up shogi, and then where did it go from there? Like how did you become such a big part of the Polish community, like the shogi scene, and what happened from the day you started learning shogi and getting better? What happened there?
So to be honest, I believe that my first 2 years were kind of low key. I was I was not like playing a lot, just watching the Hidechi's videos every now and then, playing a little.
Playing a
Um,
little online or
Online, only online.
only online? Okay.
Sometimes I would teach someone, but that would mean that they wouldn't be very competitive. The games wouldn't be so competitive.
Yeah.
Um, um, and I went to my first tournament after 2 years of playing. It was the European Shogi Championships in Krakow in Poland.
Okay.
Um, and this is where Hidechi was there.
Oh,
Uh,
Hidechi was there. Wow.
yeah, yeah. I didn't get to talk to him. I was too shy.
Was he traveling to do shogi promotion back in those days?
Yeah, I think at the time he was working in Germany. So,
Oh, okay. Wow.
and at the time, he was involved with 81 Dojo,
Sure.
and Kitao Sensei of Nekomado was also traveling to Europe for the tournaments of pretty often. She had like a shop,
Yes.
so I bought all the books from her.
I bought a lot from her as well. Yeah.
So this was my. Of course, I met Carolina for the first time, I believe.
So even in 2012.
Yeah,
So she must have been very young.
yeah.
Ah.
Yes, if I recall correctly, she was already this kind of like a star because she won the game against a ladies professional as
Oh.
an invited player.
Oh, wow.
So already, like everyone was, she was already, uh,
Goodness.
yeah, very popular. Very everyone was interested to talk with her. Um, I ended up talking a lot with Kitao Sensei. It was I at the time I was already my Japanese was pretty good, but I didn't have anyone to talk to practice. So it was kind of exciting on two levels.
Mm,
So first, it was exciting to talk to a professional player,
yes.
and also to have the opportunity to speak in Japanese also made it even more exciting.
That's
So
amazing that you were able to do that. It's tough. It's tough, to learn the language, but then to actually use it, that's tough.
yeah, so I ended up like I talked to her one day and then I went back the next day.
Awesome.
And I remember she got late for some like interview because I kept talking to her. So and at the time I had this kind of urge, this idea that I would like to help with translating some content to English or whatnot, but there was no community. So like I went back from the tournament. I said maybe I could translate with something, but it didn't. It didn't end, with anything kind
Okay.
of.
Did
Uh,
you, just out of curiosity, you played at that event too, right?
yeah, yeah, but my results were kind of not so great. I think I got like 4Q.
Okay.
I don't remember anymore because maybe after the first tournament you don't even get the rating.
Yeah.
In Europe, you need at least 9 games to get a temporary rating,
Okay.
and another 9 games for your rating to stabilize.
But you were able to at least win some
Yeah, a
games.
couple of games.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I still remember some of the games. Um, um,
Yeah.
so one game was against Władek Zakrzewski, who became the European champion a couple of years ago, and he lives in Poland, so we played many times.
Okay.
So I managed to get a good situation out of the opening, kind of exchange silvers and bishops like in Ureshino.
Okay.
But after that, I didn't know what to do with the bishop and the silver. So I ended up losing. So it was kind of a tough loss. Anyway, I focused on my studies at the time, and 2 years later, um, there something has changed. There was a Japanese-Polish Friendship Foundation opening up in my city, in my hometown, and I went to the opening event. And I realized that the people running the foundation are very nice. They seem very intelligent, very nice to talk to. So
Are these Japanese expats? Like,
no, they were Polish people who don't even speak Japanese.
oh, really?
But it was a married couple.
Okay.
And a kendo instructor they supported. And their daughter was learning Japanese.
Ah.
So they were kind of into Japan as a family in a way. And long story short, I ended up doing a shogi workshop at the foundation. And for our first workshop, I only had like one shogi set because I only had my own set.
Yeah.
And we were expecting a huge success, of course, very optimistic.
Yeah.
And also, after the workshop, I was supposed to go for a camp for for students learning Japanese at the university.
Okay.
And to help one guy. And we didn't have the set. So I wrote on a Polish shogi kind of Discord, like on the Facebook group, that I need to borrow some sets. What can I do? And the Warsaw players, including Karolina, they sent me like a box of very random shogi sets.
Oh, wow.
And I used that for the workshops, for the Japanese event. And for me, it was a big success because I had like 10 or 20 people playing shogi at the same time.
That's awesome.
So this is also how I started to kind of get in touch with Karolina, like to chat on a daily basis. This was kind of the real start of how I got involved in building the community back in Wrocław, which is my hometown.
Yeah, and that's where the European Shogi Championship was held this year.
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of, I'm a little bit sad that it was my dream to have the European Championship in my hometown.
Yeah.
I couldn't participate and I couldn't help organize it.
That's amazing. Oh, boy.
But that's life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for a couple of years, we ended up organizing tournaments and workshops on a regular basis. For a couple of years, I tried to make it my kind of my job to be a shogi teacher, a Japanese teacher. I did a little bit of translation and interpretation into Japanese. But what you mentioned in the introduction, the biggest source of income was the promotion of Doubutsu Shogi. And just in case someone listening doesn't know what's it all about, it's a simplified version of shogi played on a 3x4 board, and the kanji characters are replaced by animals, and there are small dots around the pieces which show where the pieces move, so you don't even have to memorize it. So it's great for children because the animals are very cute.
Yep.
So we tried to promote this game in Poland. We had a little bit of a chess boom in Poland, where chess became a part of the curriculum in primary schools. And we thought that chess might be a little bit too difficult for some teachers. So we thought that it might be a good idea to start with Doubutsu Shogi and then move to chess, not shogi.
Wow, okay.
So this is my friend from the foundation had this idea. So we were working together in the foundation, but we ended up being kind of business partners.
Okay.
So
Oh wow!
for a
So
couple of years,
using dobutsu in like a chess setting.
yeah.
Oh wow!
So because of that, I got in touch with Polish Chess Federation people. They were also they were organizing a lot of tournaments for children.
Sure.
So we ended up doing like workshops for chess children, and they were amazing because the concepts are very similar. So we also ended up teaching shogi at chess camps, not dobutsu shogi, but real shogi with a lot of success. So
Out of curiosity, is that still in place in Poland today? This having chess as part of the curriculum?
I believe so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I don't think that it would change.
Okay. Wow.
So a lot of good things were going on. Unfortunately, a series of unfortunate events made us lose momentum. The business side, the company that was promoting the game, they had some arguments within among the owners, and the people who were uh, the people, including my friend, who were the most into promoting the game, left the company.
Okay.
They sold their shares and they moved on, and it was not realistic for me to stay because the other members were not so passionate about it. So this is how I ended up going for a software engineer
Yeah.
job in Japan.
That's
So,
good.
but so I've been focusing on my career for the last couple of years, and now that we have a small child, it's also have been a focus.
Yes.
But shogi is still like always with me.
But you didn't talk about the Polish championship.
Oh yeah, because it was like yeah, it's also a funny story. So um, in our Wrocław community, there was me, and we had two like strong players compared to the others. It was me and my friend Krzysiek.
Okay.
And when we were starting the club, we were on equal terms, skill wise. And when we started playing tournaments, he kind of went on a different gear, turned on a different gear, and he quickly became Shodan.
Mm.
And I was only like second cure, so
Okay.
he was winning most of the games among us. And he also became in one of the shogi championships. He came second,
Okay.
and for me it was kind of surprising because the player who won at the time, um, he was playing a system opening for static rook, so he would always play climbing silver and crab castle.
Mm.
So that was very surprising to me because it makes sense for a double static rook, but against ranging rook, like all the books say, it's bad.
Yeah.
But he was strong enough to take care of the weaknesses.
Wow.
So for me, that was kind of annoying in a way that he rejected Fury,
Mm-hmm.
And he was still winning.
Are
It was,
these chess players? Are like do they have this chess advantage or something?
I think he was a former chess player.
Okay.
He was very good at sume.
Mm.
Very, very good at sume. So so I was very surprised that my friend Krzysiek, he lost in the final, even though I felt the opening, he had a huge advantage in the opening. So but slowly I wanted to kind of catch up to Krzysiek, and I started practicing a little bit more because it was kind of funny that I had all this theoretical knowledge from reading the books, but I had a clear lack of experience of real play.
Yeah.
I was just not playing enough. So I went in 2016 in the winter. I went to Japan. I did a homestay at Kitao Sensei's place to visit some shogi classrooms so that I can become a better teacher myself. And I had the privilege to talk to some real strong Japanese players, and I asked them like that my end game is not so great. This is my weakness, and I would like to do well in my tournaments. And they told me that you need to be able to solve tsume quickly, because when you're in Byoyomi, you have only 30 seconds. So you need to be able to read the mate in 20 seconds. And so what they recommended is that I time myself for each problem.
Okay, that's where you started that.
So it was the difference is that I would set a time limit when I went home. I would set a time limit for each problem, like in Shogi Quest.
Yeah.
So like time 30 seconds, timer, go. Usually I would not make it in the first time. So it was very stressful. I did it for 3 months. I hated it, but I became visibly stronger. And as I won my first tournament, I'm not sure if my first, but one of my first tournaments just before the Polish Championships in 2016.
Oh, okay.
And I started playing Migi Gyoku at the time, just for fun.
Yeah, wow.
No big reason. And I wanted to do some preparation for the Polish Championships. So the first problem was that there was this guy I mentioned who always plays Adrian, who always plays Crab Castle. I knew that if I were to become the champion, I need to defeat him. So I went through his games, and I realized that when he's playing against Yagura or like double static rook, he's amazing. But he would get like embarrassing losses against Nakabisha.
Okay.
Because after all, the castle is not a good fit.
Yeah.
So I thought if I were to play him, I will play Nakabisha, even though it's not an opening I play at all. And for another rival of mine, Adam, we had a nice game a couple of tournaments before the championships. And on a whim, I played Tenshu Kakumino against his 4-file rook. Do you know the castle?
I don't.
So it's a static rook castle. It's like a silver. It's like left Mino.
Okay.
But the king is on the silver.
Okay.
So the Tenshukaku is like a roof in Japanese.
Okay.
So the king is at the roof.
Okay. Wow.
So the king is kind of far from the attack is the idea. And when you use the bishop, you don't use it on the main diagonal. You use it like in the Hiroshima or you put it 1 to 7 9, and then you open the diagonal.
And what opening is he playing in this situation?
4-file rook.
Okay, makes sense.
So it's like Tenshukaku Mino is a common castle against ranging rook, at least in the past.
Yeah.
So I played it against him in one tournament and kind of improvised, and it went very well. So I thought if I'm going to play him again, I'd like to know the opening better. I want to know it a little bit more. So I bought some books in Japan. I studied at home, and there was this in one of the books. One of the books showed a beautiful tactic where you would sacrifice the bishop with a check. So basically, you would have your rook in an opposite rook situation.
Yeah.
You would put the bishop in between the rooks.
Okay.
And then you would pull the bishop with check.
With check, yes.
And normally, the rook would be protected by the bishop. So even if you take with the rook, he just recaptures, so you lose the bishop.
Yeah.
But what you do do a pawn drop on the rook. So the bishop no longer saves it, no longer protects it.
Yeah.
Then you sacrifice the bishop. In some situations, the bishop will be kind of going before the pawn, so he can capture it for free, but it's with a check.
Sure.
So then you take the rook, you promote, and you have a
Ah,
winning situation.
I love
So
those tactics. Yeah, the discovered
yeah,
attacks.
I found this in a book, and I thought, wow, how nice it would be to play this in a real game.
Yeah,
That would be the dream.
yeah.
So um, now we have the Polish Championships. It was a tournament system with 8 players, so you have to win 3 games in a row.
Okay.
In
So
my
like
first,
a bracket. It wasn't a Swiss. It
yeah,
was okay.
yeah, this is the format that we use in Poland. So and to qualify, you need to have a high rating.
Hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, so in my first round, I didn't play very well, but I kept kind of annoyingly attacking, and somehow managed to win. But it was probably my worst game of the tournament.
Okay.
But somehow, in the second game, the semifinal, I played against Adrian, the crab castle guy,
Yeah.
and I played central rook as planned. It was a very tough game because he's a strong
Because he's
player,
strong. Sure.
but I managed to get a huge advantage anyway, and he kept on defending really well, so I couldn't find a mate
Hmm.
for a long time. But somehow in Byoyomi I was like trembling,
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine.
but somehow I managed to get to his king and win. Um,
Awesome.
so I got to the final, and my friend Krzysiek told me, at least you have second place, and I was like,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
no, no, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And in the final, I met Adam, the four fire rook player I mentioned.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, the tactic I mentioned, I managed to do it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It was, I don't know, I felt, it was like a moment like in anime.
Well,
So
you still had to
unbelievable.
convert though. You still like
Yeah, but
I think in a tournament situation I've been there where I get sort of the dream attack, but I'm so excited that I forget to finish the game. You're in the finals here, and you still like I'm sure it wasn't. You still had to finish.
um, the tournament hall was very close to the toilet. So when I saw that this tactic is going to that I have this tactic, I had to go and wash my face to
Wow,
kind of calm myself down.
wow, that's a great idea.
And the advantage was so huge that even with like trembling hands,
Yeah,
feeling very excited, I managed to convert it anyway.
wow,
But yeah,
yeah.
it was a dream tournament.
Yeah. So how does that feel? Like how does that I've never won a tournament. I don't know how it feels. How does that feel?
Wow, it was like I mentioned. Um, I felt like it was a big accomplishment, and
Yeah.
it felt like I did all this preparation, and it kind of came to fruition, right?
Yeah.
It was not a accident,
Yeah.
because I
You put in the
wouldn't.
work and you saw the results.
Yeah, I wouldn't win against Adrian, the crab castle guy, just playing normally. He was way too strong. So, um, and also I'm not sure about the final game. Uh, I was very nervous. So it was amazing. And what's kind of funny is after the tournament, I kind of lost interest
Mm.
because I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish.
That's that's the problem with accomplishing things. Oh boy.
So after that, I tried kind of changing strategies. Maybe I started playing for Fire Rook to maybe become a more balanced player, but that didn't go so well. So it took me a while to go back into to playing regularly.
Yeah. But you did continue to rank up in with your FESA rating. The
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you were
So
still playing.
Yeah. After a couple of months, I got back into playing. Um, we started a league system
Okay.
where we would play 3 tournaments, one each month, and the points, like a Swiss system of 5 games each time, and
Okay.
your points would add up, and the winner of the whole league would get a trophy.
Mhm.
So we had a system like that. I managed to win the first edition. Um, so yeah, I kept on playing. What was kind of the next year was kind of strange because I started having strong students,
Mhm.
and I found myself in a dilemma. If I make my students stronger, I'm making my rivals
Yeah,
stronger.
exactly.
So, like, what is the correct answer here, right? Should I kind of keep some secrets to myself so that I can defeat them at the tournament, or
Uh,
should I teach them all I know? So, what I ended up doing is that I ended up dropping out of the next Polish championships,
okay.
kind of going as a coach for my students. I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do, but at the time I didn't know how to solve this dilemma I mentioned.
Well, I mean, it seems like you have just as an outsider looking in, it seems like you have this passion for teaching the game, and you're going around all these cities with kids in schools. You've got these students. You've just to have students at all is kind of amazing. So you must have this passion for spreading the game. So yeah, like it's I have to believe that it's fulfilling in that way.
Yeah, definitely. It was difficult to kind of balance being a promoter and a player,
Yeah,
because if you put more effort into promoting and you go to all the cities, you're just exhausted physically.
yeah.
So I was feeling that, I did this hectic sumo training for 3 months, which I hated.
Hmm.
But it was like going to the gym. It's good
Yes.
for you, but maybe you hate it.
It
So
worked for you, but yeah.
I felt like I am not able to repeat it this year. So maybe I cannot. So I went into this physical, psychological trap that if I cannot practice that hard, as hard as last year, I cannot win the championship anymore. So that was kind of like probably not a good way, not a good state of mind.
Totally. Yeah. Do you, out of curiosity, you've been in Japan now for 5, 6 years. Do you keep up with the former students?
So not really, unfortunately. Um, um, I keep in touch with my teachers.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Do
Yeah.
you know, are they still continuing to grow? Are they strong players now? Do they keep playing shogi?
So as far as I know, I believe they don't play anymore.
Okay. Wow.
The second Dan Urashino player is now studying Chinese.
Oh.
Um,
So is he going to like Shang-Chi or some other game?
I
Or
don't know because he wasn't like very social. So
okay. Okay. Fair
uh,
enough.
also not very into social media. So I'm not sure what's going on in
Yeah.
his life. Um, um, so this is kind of maybe different. You probably know that in Belarus they have a huge shogi community.
Yeah.
So there, in there, I think that maybe the bonds are stronger. Um, so that's one point that could have been improved. But probably me going to Japan was a huge factor in
Sure.
the relationships kind of fanning out.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Wow. Is there in Poland now, um, what was the you've got these players, these strong players. how does the pull of chess affect that? How does that impact your ability to get more players or anything like that? Is chess like it is sort of here this tough hurdle for us shogi promoters to try to overcome? Or are people more willing to play multiple games there?
Oh, so that's a tough question. I have for a while I have been selling shogi books and shogi sets
Mm-hmm.
bought from Nekomado, kind of reselling them. And I sold some goods to a international master in chess, and we ended up becoming friends. I stayed at his place for a couple of
Oh,
times
cool.
in Warsaw, and he actually, in a very short time, I think he got at least shodan strength, just because he has, the calculation,
Yes.
the strategy, the kind of mental game, the ability to think deeply. So I believe that it goes. It's very. I, from what I have heard, it goes both ways. Shogi players like Habu-san, Morichi Sensei, they have became like 2000 rated chess players immediately. On the other hand, they say that a chess grandmaster, after they learn the rules, they're already shodan in shogi, which is probably a little bit.
Well, I mean, I have seen an example of that. We at our club have I think it was episode 17, the interview with Steven. He's a chess grandmaster, and the first time I ever played him, um, they just said, here, Frank, play Steven. He's good at chess, and they didn't say he's a grandmaster. They just said he's good at chess, and we played, and you could tell he was good. I won the game just because of Urshina Ryu. It was an Urshi. He missed. If I remember correctly, he missed the one defensive resource against the Urshina Ryu coming in. But otherwise, he played great. And then within a month or two, it felt like he was beating. I don't remember the time frame. Maybe I'm thinking of it a little too accelerated. But he was beating high Dan level players.
Wow.
Including the United States champion. In a game. And he's now 5 Dan on 81
Wow.
Dojo, and in less than 2 years, 5 Dan on 81 Dojo. He won the recent Tournament to King on Shogi Harbor, and it's just like this is the power of a chess grandmaster, and so not that every chess grandmaster could accomplish that, but this is the just amazing to me just how strong you can be as a chess grandmaster at calculation, and how much these skills kind of, like you said, work together.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
almost like
I'm
cheating.
jealous. Yeah, I'm just totally jealous.
Yeah, I understand, but I actually did something opposite recently.
Mm.
So when I felt like, yeah, that my life is getting more stable and I could get back in some of the games, I actually started with Go. I
Oh,
went to Go. I bought some books for beginners.
recently.
Yeah, very recently, like
Oh,
2 months ago. So, and I focus on calculation. I learned some basic, like capturing races again.
sure.
I could feel that even though I haven't been playing for 15 years, that I still remember a lot. I was surprised that I can remember a lot.
Mm.
And I practiced for a week. I watched some YouTube videos about how to improve quickly. And I went to a dojo,
Oh,
and they told me that I played a couple of games, handicap games with the strongest players. And they told me that I'm at least shodan.
wow, wow.
So after that, I said, oh, I thought it would be nice to be like shodan in 2 games.
Yeah.
So I thought it could be like my goal for a while, but with one, I achieved in like in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow, wow. Yeah.
So
Are you planning on continuing playing?
so for now, I want to get. I feel like with my current, if I can keep my scores in Shogi, yesterday I like won 5 times against first dan, and only lost to a second dan due to a mistake.
Okay.
So if I can keep that, I should be able to go to achieve second dan this month or maybe next month, depending on how much time I can spend. And then I guess third dan would be like a goal for a longer time span.
Yeah.
So that's probably gonna keep me busy for a while.
Yeah, and that's a grind. On Shogi Wars, that is a grind to get that many wins. Yeah. Awesome. So one thing I have to, we're going pretty long here, but one thing I have to ask is about the Road to Shodan. The Road to Shodan video series, which made you famous on the internet.
I don't know if maybe in the Shogi community.
Yeah. What happened there? I don't know any story. I'm relatively new to all this. I've seen those, and I used to lurk, but I don't know any of the stories behind them. What happened there?
So do you mean like how did it start?
How did it start? Why are there the bear and the bear animal?
To be honest, it was so I no longer remember like the bear. It was probably Carolina's idea. Definitely not something I would come up with. So I've been in touch with Carolina for many years. There were some times like when she was in Japan, I was staying at Kitao Sensei's place, so we did a little bit of traveling together, went to dojo together. So we got pretty close, and I was always kind of hoping she would become a ladies professional player. Just by pure chance, just by pure luck, on the day she became a professional player, I was in Japan.
Oh.
So I went to the Shogi Renmei building, to the Shogi headquarters. I said I'm like a reporter from Poland. I would like to see the conference, and someone working at Nekomado actually knew me, so they helped me get there. They just told me to not say a word, only observe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing! Oh my gosh,
so that was like super random, and yeah.
Wow.
And just when I moved to Japan, we would go for lunch sometimes with Carolina and my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one day, and like the idea of Road to Shogun is a copy of a similar program on YouTube by Nishio Sensei and Nozuki Sensei.
Oh, okay.
They also had like Mezase Shodan, I think that there was a series like that. So I just said we could do something similar in English, and that would be interesting. So that's how it started. Carolina, because she was already doing YouTube, she would bring, and my flat was bigger, she would bring all this equipment, set it up.
Oh, very cool.
So we did a couple of episodes. Yeah, but it didn't last too long.
Yeah, there are not many in that playlist. Do you is that something you enjoy? Like, did you consider doing more shogi content? Because you're a teacher, you're a promoter, you speak Japanese, so you have this unique. It's like a unique skill for a Western shogi player to also be able to speak Japanese. So you have that background that you can rely on. Did you consider doing shogi content on your own?
I did set up a channel once. I have a channel on YouTube, and I did a couple of videos. So I wanted to do like a speed run on Shogi Wars, but
yes.
Ideally, what I had in mind is that I will start at 30Q and slowly raising the ranks. But already, like by fourth game, the system gave me like a showdown player.
That's the problem.
So it was not realistic for me to comment on the game and win at the same time with someone of equal level.
Yeah.
So it looked very easy when the pros do it.
Yeah, it's sort of unfortunate. I was again with Koshiro. I've had these discussions where I like the speed run or the climbing the rating ladder series. Like those are some of my favorite chess content that there is. I love it, and I would love that for Shogi. But Shogi Wars, they're so, even if you're just 30 or 26Q or whatever, they find your rating so fast
Right.
that you can't make a series. You can't make an educational series about that. So it's real. It's tough. It's tough.
So I guess what I see, like Tobe Sensei is doing on his channel, I'm not sure if the setting is still there, but I remember that in Shogi Wars you can there's a setting where the system you will play against weaker players.
Yes.
So this is one way, I guess, to go about it.
Yeah. But weaker for Tobe is still very strong.
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
But yeah, like you said, there are times where I play a good game and I feel like it would be nice to talk about it, to share it, because sometimes there's a nice mate.
Yeah.
It's just that it's difficult to balance it, because if I get into content creation, then I won't have time to play my games and to improve myself. So this is the
Exactly.
eternal battle.
Yeah, it definitely is. But like, yeah, I in preparation for this, I rewatched some of those videos, and I was thinking like, boy, he's good at this. Why isn't he doing more of it?
Thank you. That's so kind. I don't know, like maybe at this point to go on my own is too much of a hassle. But yeah, if we can collaborate in some way,
Yeah,
I'd be happy to help.
awesome.
Maybe we can work something out later.
Yeah, oh, I'd love to. Yeah, there's I'm still I'm also surprised that you wouldn't have done more Dobutsu stuff. Because it is great. It's great with kids. Vince from the Phoenix Shogi Club, one of the people that I interviewed, he has been big on that, and the people who love it really seem to love it. And in a festival situation, I've sort of experienced that kind of thing where someone at our club, we had regular shogi boards, but someone quickly made some Dobutsu sets, and the kids and families were addicted to it. It's
Right.
so appealing to them, and yeah.
Yeah, we had lots of ideas how to promote the game. We focused on Poland, but unfortunately, I didn't have like a stable job at the time,
Okay.
and that made me, like I had to think of, for example, in order to, just to make a living, I would go and teach shogi at one of the school at a private school, and what I would do, I would go there early morning and teach Dobutsu shogi like 5 classes in a row of
Okay.
different age, and
Wow.
also maybe a little bit of Japanese, and I would go home
Wow.
and I'd be so exhausted that I would just lie down.
Yeah.
So there, I didn't have any energy left to do any content, and also I had to prioritize, work that actually pays money.
Of
Uh,
course. That's amazing though that you had that much exposure, that you were able to bring that much exposure to the game. That's, I mean, that almost seems unheard of. Like here, I can't even imagine what it would take to have our schools with shogi lessons. Wow.
well, I did have a lot of support from my friend. Like I mentioned, he
Yeah.
was already an established educator, like educational. He would make like some textbooks. Um, he worked at the biggest Polish publisher for educational materials.
Okay.
So it's not a accident. I just had the opportunity to work with really amazing people.
That's incredible. It really is. So you're going to be back in Poland though.
Yeah,
This Christmas this year.
yeah,
Or
like in 2 weeks. Yeah,
okay, and so you're going to play in an event.
yeah, and Cracovia Shogi tournament. It's the strongest tournament in Poland because I guess because of the holidays, lots of players from abroad would
Or we'll
come,
be
like
home.
done players. I'm
Ah,
not sure. I haven't checked the tournament, in a couple of years, but usually like 3-4 done players would visit, and I always, I many times I had like an advantage against them, but didn't manage to convert.
hmm.
So I don't have too high hopes because it's been only less than 2 months
Yeah.
since I started training.
Are you going to
Uh,
do any special preparation, like similar to that opening work that you did in the past, or?
um, I'm not this time. I'm just focusing kind of long term. I
Okay.
want to master Nakabisha.
Yeah.
Um, I have, like you mentioned before, like just by playing the Josekis, I have been able to find some weaknesses that are not mentioned in the books,
Hmm.
both in my formation and in my opponent's formation. So some of the games I win on Shogi Wars are because my opponent didn't defend against my idea. Um, so we'll see. Like, I wonder if my current winning streak on Shogi Wars will transfer.
Yeah. I hope
It's
so.
also on Shogi Wars you can win on time, right?
Sure.
So that will not happen because the tournament is 30 minutes and I believe 1 minute beyond.
Okay.
So
That's nice. That's
so
that's long. How long is the event? Like how many days? Because
I,
those are slow games.
yeah, I think it's 3 days. And the
Nice.
second day is the most difficult because it's 4 days, 4 games.
4 games. Wow.
And
Wow.
I remember one day, on the first day, you have 3 games. I won 3 games in a row for the first time, winning against Dan players. And the next day, I lost 4 straight games. That was so heartbreaking.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's long. Those are grueling games. You said it's 30 minutes with 60-second Byoyomi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those can last hours, those games.
Yeah. Well, it's usually not so bad. But there was one situation where all the games have finished, but one game was still in the middle game.
Nice.
I don't know. Well, maybe in shogi, in theory, like if both sides don't try to attack, nothing. The game will not end, right?
That's a similar thing happened to me in my first tournament. It was the second round, the second game that I ever had to play in a tournament. Um, my opponent, it was, I played the first game, I won the first game, so I was feeling great, and the next round begins, and I go looking for the player, and he was still in this game with another person. They had tokens all over, just this is sort of mutual attack, but also mutually safe.
Mm,
And they kept going. They kept going. So the second round started. They were still there. I'm standing watching the game. Second round games are finishing, and my opponent for the second round is still playing.
wow.
And yeah, they went on for a long time. I think they finished. I want to say probably in the middle to the end of round two, I would say. And and then I'm supposed to play, and my opponent, it was kind of intimidating because it was like, oh, do you want to go to? I asked, do you want to go to the bathroom? Do you have to take a break between games? He's like, no, I'm good. And he just came in, he played, and he was a very strong player, and he beat me. But
Mm.
yeah, it was kind of unnerving to be standing there just waiting for this game to finish as the other rounds are done. So
It's interesting because in a Swiss tournament you match the people with the same number of wins, so you cannot pair the second round if a game is ongoing.
So
So
what this was? So this was this it was what they called a grouping stage. So it was a stage where you decide if you the people the there's a group of 4 players. They play each other. The people with 2 wins go to Group A,
I see.
Swiss. The people with 2 losses go to Group B, Swiss. So it wasn't a Swiss at that point. It was
I
just
see.
a grouping stage. So you knew who you were going to play in the next round.
Makes sense.
But yeah. So it was fun. It was fun, but nerve wracking.
I see. So we never use this system in Poland, but I think it's very popular in amateur tournaments in Japan.
That's my understanding, because a lot of, in the United States, it seems different to me than in Europe, where a lot of our shogi tournament and scene is Japanese expats and running this. So it's very much, I believe, like the tournaments back home. And to the point where I believe it's only recently in the United States here where the championship, I believe, where it became not just a sudden death tournament where one loss and you're out, which I believe, what I've been told, is very popular in Japan. So
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, good luck in that event. I'm excited. I'm excited to follow along.
Yeah,
I
thank you. Yeah, I'll do my best.
That's one of the things I think Europe does pretty well. Is that it seems like these shogi tournaments, they might be in the country's language. They have to to translate it, but it seems like the tournaments have web pages and photos. Like I love seeing
Mm.
photos of tournaments. I'm just like, I love to live vicariously through the people who are playing. So I hope this event has some photos that we can follow along at home.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Awesome. And I'll mention that your web page, that has some shogi information, has some great photos on there as well. You've got a photo of you with Madoka Kitao. You've got some photos with your students. You've got some photos, some other. It looks like some other tournament settings. I love that stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I used it to kind of promote myself as a teacher back in Poland, so
Mm,
that I could go to visit schools, and
yeah, it's great. All right. Well, it's been closing in on 2 hours. Is there anything you wanted to say, or anything you'd like to say, or anything you wanted to talk about, maybe? Or
I think like we pretty much covered everything. Um, like I mentioned, let's keep in touch.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoyed this. I had I sound I feel like I say the same things every time. So I'm trying to be more creative in what I'm saying, but I had such a good time. I really appreciate this. It's so fun to talk about this stuff with someone who's obviously passionate about it and who has done so many things with the game. So thank you for sharing this. Thank you for coming on.
my
And
pleasure.
yeah, I hope everyone enjoys it. So, yeah. All right.
Thanks,
Well, thank you,
thanks a lot.
everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll put every link that I know of that we've discussed. I'll try to put them in the show notes. And just thank you so much, Wojciech. I wish you and your family, a happy holiday season. Enjoy your Christmas back in Poland, and good luck with that tournament.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thanks a lot.
all right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.